going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we finally have some fresh footage of the brand new Battlefield game, and I gotta be honest with you guys, it's looking very juicy, but of course, for some strange reason, we are just getting an overabundance of negativity for the most strangest reasons as well, so of course, we're going to go ahead and cover every last bit of it, guys. Don't forget, subscribe, hit that bell if you want to be notified on everything here about Battlefield, Call of Duty, Splitgate, and I kind of want to talk about some Arc Raiders as well. So if you guys like that type of stuff, subscribe and hit that bell. And don't forget, I will be live today over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, I'll link that channel down in the description of this video. All right, so guys, like I said, we have some brand new leaked footage, and it's mostly of some sniper gameplay. Of course, you know, it has some, I think, some AR gameplay sprinkled here and there throughout the actual footage itself. I'm not going to leave any links because I want to keep my fingers crossed that we can hopefully keep this up for a little bit longer without it getting, struck down. So, of course, if you guys are interested, you can go over to Reddit. Just scroll through their homepage. Usually, you'll always be able to find the leaks over there. But guys, just to say this first before we hop into all the, the deep details of the community, it's looking really solid to me still. I mean, the more I see with this game, the better footage I see with better players, are landing their shots consistently and they can actually move around the map. And, they look like they played a Battlefield game before. You know what I'm saying? Actually seeing real footage, man. Like, before, I get it. It's annoying watching people who don't know what they're doing. But we could still get bits and pieces of what this game is about. But as time has gone on and the weeks keep passing, it's like, okay, we get what the basis of the game looks like. Now we want to see what it looks like when someone, really knows what they're doing and they can dive deep into the game. And the more that we get of that, this game is just looking really fun in my personal opinion. Again, I hate jumping to conclusions, and a lot of things can go wrong as time goes on. But for a build that is so ridiculously early, it's looking very clean between the gunplay, the atmosphere, and the look of the overall game. Again, it looks like what everybody has been begging for, right? The atmosphere of Battlefield 1. Partial, movement tech from Battlefield 5. Maybe even a little bit of the gunplay sprinkled from Battlefield 3 and 4. Like, it looks like a perfect meld of everything that we know and love as a community. And I'm really happy so far with the progress that they're pushing forward, and also with some of the slight additions they're adding on top. Again, like things like dragging teammates to revive them, adding in sledgehammers for extra destruction. All the additions on top of the core foundation of Battlefield are also things that I'm liking. So, so far, so good in my opinion. But man, oh man, the community is really trying to find absolutely anything to complain about with this game. And again, I'm not saying complaining about some of these features is bad. We can all critique and, give our opinions. But I feel like a lot of the things we are critiquing are like, who cares? I'm just going to say, I'm sorry, but genuinely, who cares? For example, I saw this post over on Reddit by Revors, I believe is how you pronounce their name, saying, so everything is looking awesome and people getting riled up because of names? Okay. And it goes on saying, as a longtime Battlefield fan, I just watched the newest leaks and everything is back. Gritty atmosphere, finishers, dog tags, sprint looks good, atmosphere looks good, destruction is fluking back, awesome looking customization, soldiers looking like soldiers, and you have a problem with names. Fluking amazing. And for those who don't know, the operators that you are going to be playing as, no matter what team that you're on in this brand new Battlefield game, have names. They have names, and I believe they also have a backstory. I didn't go ahead and actually discuss this on the channel before because I didn't care. Personally, I genuinely did not care whatsoever, and I didn't think it was a big deal whatsoever. But believe it or not, the Reddit board and people have just been going absolutely bonkers over characters having names. I gotta be real. I don't think this is going to affect the game that much. I understand where people are coming from. They want to play as, again, I guess, no-name soldiers, right? Just as a person who looks like they're just boots on the ground going into a shit show. That's practically it, and I can understand that. But just because the characters have a little bit of backstory doesn't really change anything. They can still make the characters look grounded, which they do. And also, do you guys remember back to Battlefield 5? All the characters pretty much look normal to me personally for a World War II game. Yeah, you had some that were a tiny bit outlandish, the elite skins, But they weren't like, Call of Duty status where you have a unicorn suit and you're sprinting around a gritty battlefield. It was never to that degree. All the elite skins, at least for me personally, still blended in nicely. And when the Pacific update came out and the game started to get polished better and it started to perform better and things were finally lining up, I thought the game still had a pretty solid atmosphere. It was a gorgeous looking game, and the skins never really threw me out of that. And those skins had names. Yes, guys. The people in Battlefield 5, the characters, when you can customize how you look and, all that other stuff, each person who had a different look had a name. Yet, it wasn't stupidly insane when it came to the cosmetics. Guys, again, this is so minuscule. We have gritty, really good-looking soldiers here that, look like they fit on the battlefield, and we are more concerned about the names that they have. Like, from what I see, we won. We won in that department. They understood the assignment. They understood our backlash, that this is what, we want a Battlefield game to look like. And instead of being happy about this and praising it to hopefully, make them see, hey, this is good. This is a good direction. This is what we want. Don't change it, right? Keep pushing in this way. Instead of doing this, we're too busy complaining about the names that these characters have. Like, guys, this build is so ridiculously early. And I feel like people are giving it way too much crap. I even saw a post by Insider Gaming over on Twitter. This one made me crack up a little bit when I read it, and I didn't even tap into the post. I don't know, maybe the post is completely, something different. Maybe they're talking about the community complaining. I don't know. But I saw this saying, Battlefield Labs gameplay leak confirms return of Battlefield 5 gameplay mechanic. Only now it's worse. I mean, and guys, it's the combat roll. For anybody who didn't see the footage, I highly recommend you guys go ahead and do so. But all it simply was the combat roll. And of course, yes, it looked janky. It looked messed up. Don't get me wrong. But again, as the developers have stated many times before, this is an extremely early build. And things like animations, gunplay, destruction, everything practically, even the sounds, they are still using placeholder sounds from 2042. Guys, it's going to change as we progress into the final build. I just can't help but feel that we are overreacting on all of the wrong things. Like, don't get me wrong, the community got together perfectly on, like, the server browser, for example, because we already had no server browser in 2042. The devs came out and said, oh, well, it's not like it's thick skills matchmaking. It's the same system as we have in 2042, which means that they want to hold on to the same algorithm, no server browser, so on and so forth. And then in the data mined info, we're getting, stats that we're not going to have a server browser whatsoever. Again, yeah, it's subject to change, of course. But with what we've dealt with in the past, what the developers are saying about the matchmaking, and then seeing the data mined information, combining it all together, kind of formulates that we're not going to be seeing a server browser. And I could totally see people being outraged by this information. But when we are discussing names for a soldier, when all we wanted were for the soldiers to look like they were supposed to be soldiers. That's it. That's all we asked. We wanted the class system to return, and we wanted the characters to look like they're supposed to be on the battlefield. So far from what I've seen, they've accomplished this completely. And instead of celebrating and, pushing the devs on, telling them this is the direction we want to go, we're sitting here and complaining about the names of these characters now. Same thing when it comes to the movement. Everybody's like, oh, we want Battlefield 5 movement. Battlefield 5 movement was actually really, cool. It was a nice in-between of, some more tech, but at the same time, it wasn't overwhelming for casuals. They could still, kick back and just do their own thing. They give us the combat roll. They tell us it's an extremely early build. And of course, it's going to look janky. And instead of saying, okay, great, we have, some more movement tech that people have been asking for. They are listening. It's like, oh, we wanted a combination of all these games. Atmosphere of Battlefield 1, movement of Battlefield 5, so on and so forth. Instead of saying, okay, we're going in the right direction, we're saying, wow, this looks like garbage in a early build. I just hope everybody can simmer down a little bit. That's all. And we can see how this game unfolds, because trust me, I'm not completely there yet either. I want to be, because this game looks like it's slamming. But of course, after 2042, I think everybody is a bit skeptical. Of course, besides those who haven't gone through 2042. If anybody didn't go through that, then they probably don't even care. But for anybody who has witnessed what EA is capable of on, a game-to-game basis, oh boy, even Battlefield 5, we had a lot of drama with Battlefield 5 too. I mean, my goodness, they can definitely screw things up. But from what I'm seeing, I am very happy with what they are presenting to us. And I'm hopeful that they can turn things around. But we have to prioritize our focus on what we want to critique in a more wise manner. Because I don't want these developers to, think that we are like the COD, players, where we just complain about absolutely everything. No, we don't need that. They finally are trying to turn around a little bit and build their relationship with their community. This is what we've been begging for ages now. I do not want to see this lost. I do not want to see them say, okay, the community is out of their minds. Let's forget it and just go on our own path again, right? We have so many things back. As I stated before, we have our classic class system. We have the atmosphere of what it seems to be like Battlefield 1, a little bit movement tech from Battlefield 5, the gunplay, the flow of almost something like Battlefield 3 or 4. I mean, guys, let's just try to simmer down until we can see how things are unfolding. But, ladies and gentlemen, of course, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 Eastern Time. And, of course, if you guys are interested in my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, gotta link that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.